20 years ago, aliens descended upon Earth in search of mating partners. Everywhere you look, there are couples of humans and aliens unable to contain their passion and openly displaying their affection in public spaces. But not Jen, who disapproves of this kind of relationship. He is not ready to give up on his aspirations just to indulge in some galactic pleasure. He wants to keep his blood pure and avoid interaction with any non-human being, at least that's what he thought before taking a gasp at a certain person's endowed body. Our boy joined this university that was established 15 years ago by the aliens whom they call Wevians with the scope to protect the Earth, making his friend worried about his rookie behavior since this is place mixed humans and Wevians. It seems that his grandfather managed to instill in the boy the belief that the Wevians are invaders and that if the races were to keep on mixing, Earth would be taken over. To compound his worries, last year around 50% of the babies born in the hospital were of mixed Earthling Wevian heritage, signaling that his grandfather's fears might become a reality. Jen even plans to become a top politician in the future so he can guarantee protection for Earthlings, but when hearing all that nonsense coming from his mouth, Mitsuyoshi tells him that the aliens came here just to experience love and as compensation. They even solved the problems with food, resources, and the environment. Isn't Gen Z too narrow-minded to reject these adorable neighbors they have? But he even tries to cling to the fact that they look different compared to them and the scenes unfolding around them aren't fit for a prestigious school. One important thing we must know about this school is that it promotes relationships with people of the opposite gender. So much so that this place is also known as the marriage school, a slice of paradise descended from the heavens themselves. Here, angelic figures roam the halls, promising to turn life into an enchanting journey. Considering Jen, who is coming from an all-boys school focused on studies, this place might be too stimulating for him. Mitsuyoshi even suggests that if he's going to be too stubborn, he'll miss out on the fun of school life without even being able to touch a girl's belly button or grab onto some peaches. Jen does not want that. On the contrary, he wants to have a nice and fun school life with a girlfriend, but she must be an Earthling no matter what. Because the school promotes interaction between the opposite genders, eating alone at lunch is not allowed and they must share a table similar to a marriage meeting. That's how he meets Milica, who apparently has the hobby of eating, which explains those thick legs. This cute-looking girl seems to advance things rather quickly. Soon after they've just met, she wants to put something into Jen's mouth. But the boy struts around with the swagger of a gigachad, displaying no hint of embarrassment as he casually declines, claiming it's too awkward. However, his tough facade quickly crumbles when the girl's sad expression melts his resolve and she playfully suggests that he's refusing because it's her fork. This unexpected twist strips away his advantage, and in the blink of an eye he pounces on that all-powerful fork, filled with delicious food. But now it's the girl's turn and she looks expectantly at the boy, waiting for him to fill her mouth. At first, it seems like a simple request, but then the boy hesitates. He remembers that he can't give in to temptation. Even though this feels fun, he believes the girl is taking advantage of a rookie like him. The way she behaves makes him believe he will end up falling for her. But the thought that he would not be able to save the world if he loses here manages to take him back to the ground. Hearing his words makes the girl think she did something wrong, but Jen is keeping up his guard even though he feels like his heart is contradicting him. He tells her that he does not want to talk to her, and they just stay quiet while eating. This cold reaction proves too much for the girl with a big heart, and tears stream down her cheeks as she expresses understanding, believing nobody would want someone like her. Lost in confusion about what to do next, a comforting hand touches Jen's shoulder. Mitsuyoshi showed up to give him some advice from his experience as a veteran. Girls who don't get sad or start ignoring you after being shot down and instead are quick to start devaluating themselves like they're asking you to care about them tend to have low self-esteem. Put simply, if Glenn pushes her down emotionally, he'll inevitably push her down practically as well. Furthermore, if Jen continues rejecting her, her low self-esteem might lead her to agree with anything he says without complaint. As a good human being, be like Jen and don't listen to this guy's suggestion. Meanwhile, Milica is freaking out as she would do anything just to gather a friend. Apparently, even though Wevians are a mix of a lot of different races among them, her body is special and because of that, everyone is avoiding her. Most probably because of that, until now she was a loner, as the Earthlings and Wevians are going to different schools all the way to middle school, and now that she is in high school she thought there would be a change for the Earthlings to like her. Hearing those words, Jen jumps to his knees, placing his head on the ground, and apologizes as he was behaving in such a horrible way toward her. However, his friend joins the conversation from behind, and with the girl in front of them, he remembers what he said about hating all the Weverians, and now, only because he has the chance to score with a girl, he changes his mind. Hearing that, the girl gets worried and his friend starts placing more salt on the wound, making her more sad. As the boy cannot decline what Mitsuyoshi just said, he ends up saying that he believes Wevians are human enemies, as in the near future all the history and traditions of Earthlings would get lost one day. This is something he cannot accept, and in order to keep the Earthling blood alive, he would never get together with a Wevian. What he just said would make the girl understand there are still people who believe in this way, but from her perspective, Earth is the place where she was born and raised, and being called an enemy is making her feel sad. That's when Mitsuyoshi intervenes again, asking if he had finally repented of his feelings. He does not understand why he is so fussy over the Earthling brand. He considers that all women are the same as long as they have the same feminine anatomy. However, Jen realizes his words were wrong and ends up apologizing for calling her an enemy and telling her to never speak with him. Actually, he believes she's a charming girl and he would like to speak with her more. Somehow, it looks like these words have thrown away the sadness from the girl's face and replaced it with a strong feeling of heat. Because of what just happened, Mitsuyoshi ends up giving him a punch in the face, as he believes Jen is doing this on purpose. Lifting up someone once you've shot them down is known as a core playboy move, and he is actually acting sincere now to get his show going. After hearing Jen's words, the girl expresses that he is a kind person who has such firm ideals, yet he is being so nice to her. That's why she believes he is an amazing person whom she would like to know more about, and she asks him if the two of them will still be able to talk. These words have an extreme power against the rookie's tender heart, putting him in a state of desperation, and in order not to fall in love and regain control, he takes full speed and bums into the closest tree, rotating his head 180 degrees. Because of that, he ends up being taken to the infirmary by the other two, but unfortunately there is no one there to take care of him, which prompts Milica to offer her help since she took lessons on how to use the healing tool. That's why Mitsuyoshi decides it is better for all of them if he leaves, since he is not of any help in offering the girl more confidence being by herself. Hearing what Mitsuyoshi is saying, Jen becomes worried, but his friend keeps on suggesting that he be honest and say that he is interested in Milica, but that won't do. The boy won't agree with his words, making the girl show a disappointed face. And without further ado, Mitsuyoshi leaves, letting the two of them alone. Right off the bat, the girl suggests starting by taking his clothes off, making the boy believe he is about to become a man, but that's not the case. This would make the healing process easier, as Milica is saying. Apparently, Jen and Mitsuyoshi haven't known each other for a long time. They first met 2 weeks ago as roommates. Hearing that the girl is amazed and envious of their friendship, they only met and already they seem to be best friends. Remembering the girl's words as she said she does not have any friends, Jen offers to be her friend, and since he considers her a great person, he would be happy to become friends. That prompts Milica to stop him, as those words would make her unable to hold back. And she embraces him from behind, placing something soft there as she's whispering, "Something has risen." Apparently the boy's head is back to normal and now behaves in an energetic way as the girl keeps on embracing him. Milica is happy to see that, but she also observes that there is another head that has risen since she started treating him. And in the next second, she throws the boy on the bed as a child throws his flying toy in the air and tells him not to worry about anything. Making the boy feel awkward as she jumps on top of him, suggesting they cannot do that since they've just met. As the girl excuses herself because the boy doesn't want to do that, he replies that it is not the case. He explains that he would treat her like a newborn who feels warm milk for the first time, but the problem is that he would only accept an earthling. Even so, it's already too late, her switch was flipped and she cannot hold herself back anymore. Her expression reveals a hunger that cannot be satisfied with just words. Knowing he wouldn't be able to restrain himself for too long, the boy realizes he must make a quick getaway. But not before stealing a glance at those big, juicy collarbones. They end up in this situation all because Jen. Milica was attempting to hold back to avoid such a scenario, but a fire ignites inside her and now she's feeling all hot. And once those collarbones appeared in front of his eyes, only one thing occupied the boy's mind. Not only that, but hearing the girl's request to have cold hands to calm her hot body pierces Jen's heart. But this is where he draws the line. Taking this step would make it impossible for him to stop. As he contemplates fleeing, she moves closer, staring directly into his eyes and questioning if he really isn't going to do that. If Jen is not going to take charge, she will do it, and without waiting for a response from him, she takes his hand, showing him how fast her heart is beating. On another side, Mitsuyoshi is sitting on a bench with a girl speaking about Jen and Milica, who both seem to be so pure. He tells the girl that he tried to light a fire between the two, but when hearing that, she expresses that it may not have been a good idea. Apparently, Milica has Advaism, an unusual feature inherited from a race that mixed with Wevians long ago. It's a dangerous trait that prompts everyone to stay far away from her. Talking about the wolf, and the wolf is at the door. Now on the schoolyard, Jen runs with all his might from Milica, who is covered in fire. Apparently, that is the feature she spoke about. Seeing this unfolding from inside the school, people begin speaking aloud about the girl who is known for being a landmine, and they make a point to stay away from her, especially now that they have a visual example of what can happen if you interact with her. While running, Jen can't shake off thoughts of the dangerous situation he's found himself in. All he wanted was to enjoy a beautiful view. After all, he's just a man. But the girl starts saying that she knows he doesn't want this, yet when she falls in love, she can't hold herself back. Milica had tried to make someone love her without offering any love in return, but such a thing couldn't happen. She ends up admitting that she knew all along that she didn't have any right to love. She even acknowledges that her fate is to live and die alone. With tears in her eyes, she expresses her wish not to have been born if this is truly her destiny. That's why the boy has a change of heart and embraces the girl, who now tells him to go away. But Jen is undeterred. With some courage, he can withstand those flames. He once again asks her to become friends, and this time, the girl accepts. She says that she will do her best, hoping that one day they will become more than just friends. As the flames reach an extreme level, some people manage to ignite them by throwing water, putting the two of them in a romantic kind of situation. But they are interrupted as Mitsuyoshi comes in, throwing a punch at the boy, believing he is finally showing his true colors. He thinks Jen lied about all the hate for the Wevians. However, the boy declines, stating that he is acting according to his morals and not letting someone suffer even though they are his enemies. Filled with anger, he gives Mitsuyoshi a foot kick in the face. Apparently, the girls who witnessed this situation started showing interest in the boy, who accepted Milica as he had an interesting personality. Even though he claims he is not interested in Wevians, it only makes them more excited. They see him as a tough nut who won't crack, and it makes them want to crack it even more. It appears that a drone-like thing was watching them, and the person behind the screen is a well-endowed woman sitting in her chair somewhere in space. Seeing what just happened makes her believe this is so vulgar and makes her feel sick. Apparently her name is Kulip, and starting next week she will attend school together with the others. From the vibe she emits, I believe the Wevina hater would attract yet another outer space girl. In school, girls start speaking about Jen, whom they consider to be a good one, with aged looks but sort of handsome. They even admire him for accepting Milica, making him seem so gallant. As the saying goes, everyone believes he won't date any Wevians, making him an enticing challenge. That's why everyone stares at him while walking through the halls. Observing this, a cat-like girl remarks that everyone is so greedy and how lower-level girls have it hard, not being able to let any opportunities slip by. Apparently, this girl named Trella always attracts people who are interested in her because she is an animal-eared girl. On top of that, she even has a tail that earthlings love. This is why her self-esteem is reaching the top of the ceiling, as she believes she was blessed by the gods. And because of that, she has no interest in a guy like Jen. The boy who heard that when passing by is actually glad, as he would rather stay away from women. Hearing that, his friends start saying that it must be so hard for him to be popular with the Weverian girls and show a jealous and disrespectful expression. Apparently 2 weeks have passed since classes started, and Mitsuyoshi the gigolo managed to interact in a nice and elegant way with 3 girls. However, this is the result of his hard work. When asked about Jen, he ends up exclaiming that he's only pooping and sleeping while all these women are lining up to get into his pants. He laments the unfair luck this rookie is having. That's when Milica shows up and tells them that for Wevians, being good at romance is a status symbol. For example, if someone manages to win over someone like Jen, they would be able to brag about their romancing skills. On the other hand, a flirt like Mitsuyoshi would be treated like a worthless trash bag. But even though they might not take that into consideration, Jen looks like someone who would treat his loved one with the utmost care. That sense of comfort is simply dazzling, unlike Mitsuyoshi, who now believes that Milica-chan is actually hating him. In short, the more he rejects the Wevians, the more he will attract them. Even though the boy is reiterating how he will never enter a relationship with a Wevian, Milica warns him that the Wevians will stop at nothing to flirt with him. Now, during the sports class, all the girls gather around him, wanting to stretch together, causing all the other boys to show hostile intent. The girls' behavior becomes more and more aggressive, and thinking their only objective is to seduce him through erotic exercises, he comes up with the plan to pair up with a human girl. But when he approached them, he found out that all the Earthling girls had already paired with Wevian boys. After all, they don't have any desire to be with a human boy when the Wevians are gentle and good-looking. Now he is again on the run, but takes a gasp at the cat girl, who does not have any interest in him. Looking at him, Tarila believes this is such a hilarious sight, but then Jen comes to her and asks her to pair up, amazing all the girls. From his point of view, pairing with the girl who has no interest in him is the safest plan. Believing it is because of her popularity, she behaves as though she's doing him a favor. However, from the looks of it, this class does not have anyone better than Jen, so she accepts the offer. While stretching and showing off her nice flexibility, the girl savors the envious gazes of the other girls. Later that day, everyone was speaking about how Jen got paired with Tarila, and when the girl was seen, everyone started asking about the tricks she used. But she simply suggests there was no need for tricks, she just behaved like herself. In the end, she even suggests that she has no intentions with him and paired with Gez only because he seemed to be so desperate. Seeing everyone's expressions feels so fun for her to watch, which is why she wants to see more of it. When she sees Jen in the hall, she believes a new opportunity has appeared. However, when passing by, the boy only greets her, leaving Tarila in an awkward posture. Everyone around her who witnessed her being ignored believes they misunderstood the situation during the sports class. And someone who had nothing on her head but animal ears could not make Jen fall for her. Sometime later, Tarila takes Jen into a more private place and tells him if she likes her, he should behave more like it because otherwise she would look like a pitiful girl. However, the boy is not sure what she is talking about and tells Tarila that he does not have any kind of feelings for her, shocking the girl. She tells him that, among Wevians, when someone asks you something like that, it means you are interested in them. But how would the boy know that? Now, thinking about her behavior with the other girls, she does not want to consider what would happen if they found out it was a misunderstanding. She decides that if she manages to make Jen fall for her, all the problems will disappear. In order to do that, she wants Jen to follow her, but the boy declines, making her blackmail him with her own life. Apparently, she took him to the photography club and told him to take as many photos as he wanted, but the boy did not get it. Tarila believed taking pictures of girls with animal ears was an earthling habit. Even when she was little, people would surround her and take photos. But when she hears Jen say he never heard of anything like that, she goes nuts. He comes clean to her, even though he knows it might be tough to hear, and tells her that having animal ears is just a niche fetish. So, having animal ears won't exactly make her the life of the party among earthlings. Hearing that, the girl refuses to believe what he just said and aggressively tells him to pick up the camera and start taking photos of her so he can understand how marvelous she is. On another side of the school, Milica approached Mitsuyoshi as she was searching for Jen and found out that he had been dragged away by Tarila. Finding this out, she feels sad but considers herself unable to intervene if the girl is serious about them. Apparently, among Wevians, there are rules stating that one should not interfere in someone's romantic life because that would transform it from a romance into an ugly quarrel. Mitsuyoshi doesn't understand that kind of pride and tells her that she might end up regretting it if she is too bound by the rules. Back to Jen, he's now taking lewd photos of the cat girl who keeps pushing him and letting him know he's allowed to take photos from wherever and whatever angle he wants. Apparently, Jen finds great joy in snapping photos of adorable girls, spurring him on to strive for an even better shot each time. It turns out Tarila has finished with all her poses and now it's Jen's turn to request whatever he desires. And oh boy, it turns out this guy is already done as he asks Tarila to wear a swimsuit and blur my screen from this point on. Because the girl is fulfilling all his desires and urges, he believes this situation has escalated to another level. But Trella has one more trick up her sleeve for the final touch. As a real animal-eared girl, her ears and tail are alive and she shows him an image that no ordinary girl could. Thankfully for our boy, someone has entered the room at a crucial moment, interrupting them. Because of that, Jen is realizing the situation he is in. And when the girl tries to charm him again, it's too late as the boy wants to stop. While some people may not find it strange to take such photos, Jen feels uneasy about it. It turns out this girl has a sad life since this is the only way she can showcase her charm. After all, everyone wants to take pictures of Trella and her animal ears. They are all after her animal ears, which is why the moment she denies them, she will lose all her charm. Hearing all that, Jen tells her that he doesn't understand what is so good about animal ears, but he promises to find so many charming points about her that she will be sick of it. However, Tarila considers those to be empty words since she doesn't know her own charming points, prompting the boy to say that even he doesn't know his own good points and that sometimes you need someone else to help you find them. As a result, she agrees and suggests that she will uncover Jen's charming points. Moreover, Tarila asks him to pair up during the lunch break, but her request is refused, leading her to believe he will pair up with Milica, which he denies. Jen expresses his wish for her to get along with everyone normally, prompting the girl to confess that she plans to make him fall in love with her in a unique way. But wait, someone is peeking at them from the window. A mysterious figure longs for one of their death sentences. However, she doesn't get to observe them for long as a teacher arrives, revealing that this person is unfamiliar with earthly customs. It turns out the peeping girl is named Kulip.